Welcome to Storyflix Film, where movies are not just watched in a broken bar, they are experienced. Here, we bring you fast, powerful, and engaging movie recaps, turning full films into short, exciting stories without missing the thrill. From action-packed blockbusters to emotional dramas and mind-blowing sci-fi, we break it all down in a way that keeps you hooked till the end. So sit back, relax, and get ready, because every story here is a cinematic journey in minutes. The Equalizer 3A is a 2023 Americana vigilante action thriller film directed by Antoine Fuqua. It is a sequel to The Equalizer 2A and is the third installment of The Equalizer film series, which is based on the television series of the same name. The film stars Denzel Washington, reprising his role as retired U.S. Marine and DIA officer Robert McCall. Dakota Fanning, Eugenio Mastrandri, David Denman, Guy Skidlow, and Remo Girania play supporting roles. In the film, McCall discovers that his new friends in a small town in southern Italy are intimidated by Camorra members and sets out to save them from the threat. Talks over a third entry to the Equalizer franchise began following the release of The Equalizer 2A on August 2, 2018. Following a long delay due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the project was officially announced in January 2022. Filming took place in Italy, concluding in January 2023. The Equalizer 3A was released in the United States on September 1, 2023, by Sony Pictures Releasing. The film received generally positive reviews from critics and was a commercial success, like its predecessors, grossing $191.1 million worldwide. A fourth and fifth film are in development. Plot: at a secluded winery in Sicily, Robert McCall kills the gangster Lorenzo Vitali and his henchmen to obtain a key to the winery's vault to recoup money stolen in a cyber heist. While McCall is leaving the winery, Vitali's grandson shoots him in the back. McCall contemplates suicide due to the injury, but reconsiders and then takes the ferry back to the mainland. While driving on the Amalfi Coast, McCall pulls over and slips into unconsciousness from a shock. Gio Bonusai, a local carabinieri marshal, a type of law enforcement officer, encounters and rescues him. He brings McCall to the remote coastal Italian town Altamonte, where Dr. Enzo Rizzio treats him. As he recovers from the shooting, McCall becomes acquainted with the locals and grows fond of them in their village. Anonymously, he places a telephone call to Officer Emma Collins to tip her on about the winery's clandestine role in the illegal drug trade. Collins and other CIA operatives discover enormous amounts of cash as well as bags of phenethylenia tablets hidden in a storeroom, confirming McCall's suspicions. She locates McCall in Altamonte and they continue to cooperate. Meanwhile, members of the Camorra, run by brothers Vincent and Marco Quaranta, harass and kill villagers in an attempt to coerce them out of their housing and take over Altamonte for commercialization purposes. McCall overhears Marco pressuring local store owner Angelo for payments, similar to extortion. To make an example of Angelo, the Camorra firebombs his fish store as the town watches. Gio reviews video of the firebombing and calls the Italian Central Policia for an inquiry. Having captured Gio's wife and daughter to lure him, the Camorra attack Gio and beat him for interfering in their operations. They had been alerted by an informant within the police. Marco demands that Gio set up a boat for him with contacts in Somalia to expand his operations. Overhearing the conversation, McCall asks Marco to move his operations to a different location to leave the townspeople alone. When he refuses, McCall kills him and his henchmen. An enraged Vincent threatens and tortures the Annapolis police chief and instructs him to find the person responsible for Marco's death. Collins' car is rigged with a bomb by Vincent, but she survives the blast and is instead hospitalized. Vincent returns to Altamonte, and, in front of the townspeople, threatens to kill Gio unless Marco's killer is identified. McCall reveals himself, but the citizens begin to protest, recording Vincent and his henchmen with their camera phones as he prepares to execute McCall. Vincent and his cadre retreat. They regroup at his mansion, planning to retaliate the following day. That night, McCall infiltrates Vincent's mansion. He kills Vincent's bodyguards one by one and administers to Vincent a lethal dose of the drugs Vincent has been selling throughout Europe. Through Collins, McCall transfers cash he had taken from the winery to an elderly couple who had lost that amount when their pension fund was hacked and stolen. At CIA headquarters, Collins receives a promotion for her contribution to ending the Altamont drug trade. She receives a package that contains a book of contacts and a note from McCall. He congratulates her and states that her mother would be proud of her. The note reveals that Collins is the daughter of McCall's late friend and colleague, Susan Plummer. As the danger of the Quaranta brothers has been removed, McCall celebrates with the locals in Altamont after their football team's victory. Cast: A. Sense Denzel Washington as Robert McCall, A. Sense Dakota Fanning as Emma Collins, A. Sense Eugenio Mastrandria as Gio Bonusai, A. Sense David Denmana as Frank Conroy, A. Sense Gaia Skidlarua as Amina, A. Sense Remo Girania as Enzo Rizio, A. Sense Andrea Scarduzio as Vincent Quaranta, A. Sense Andrea Dodaro as Marco Quaranta, I. Sense Danielle Peroni as Angelo, A. Sense Delanza Uro as Gabriella Bonusai, A. Sense Sonia Benema Ura as Kara Bonusai, A. Sense Bruno Bellota as Lorenzo Vitali, A. Sense Adolfo Marjota as Chief Barilla, Naples Chief of Police, A. Sense Salvatore Ruacoa, it as Vincent's man. I. Sense Alessandro Pesa as Viking Production. In August 2018, Antoine Fuqua announced his plans to continue the film series. The filmmaker expressed interest in the plot taking place in an international setting. 7. In January 2022, a third film was officially confirmed to be in development, with Denzel Washington returning in the titular role. A. Washington was paid $20 million for his involvement. 12. In June 2022, A. Dakota Fanning was announced to have been cast as well, partnering with Washington 19 years after Man on Fire, 2004. 13. By November 2022, A. Sonia Ben-Amar, Andrea Dodaro, A. Remo Girone, A. Eugenio Mastrandri, Danielle Peroni, Andrea Scarduzio, and A. Gaia Skidler were added to the cast. 14. A production designer and Naomi Shahana spent a month in Italy scouting locations, before selecting the village of Fatrania as the main setting for the film. 15. Principal photography began on October 10, 2022, on the Amalfi Costa in Italy. 16. Filming continued in the region until November 20, after which it moved to Annapolis in early December, before wrapping production by January 2023, in Rome. 16. Fuqua once again served as director, with Washington announcing that it would be his next movie. 17. 18. Robert Richardson serves as director of photography on the project, after previously working with Fuqua and Emancipation. Music. Main article at the Equalizer 3, soundtrack. In May 2023, A. Marcello Zarvasa was brought in to score the film's music after previously collaborating with Fuqua in Brooklyn's Finista, 2009, A. What's My Name, Muhammad Alia, 2019, Abigailtia, 2021, and Emancipation, 2022. 20. He replaced Tahari Gregson Williams, who scored the previous installments in the trilogy, as well as Fuqua's The Replacement Killers and Infinite Love. Disorderly by Thomas Zira was added as a soundtrack to the film. Released theatrical. The Equalizer 3A was released by Sony Pictures, releasing on September 1, 2023. in both conventional formats and IMAX. It received a release on premium video on demand formats on October 3, 2023. Reception. Box office. The Equalizer 3 grossed $92.4 million in the United States and Canada, and $98.7 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $191.1 million. In the United States and Canada, The Equalizer 3A was projected to gross $28.30 million from 3,965 theaters in its opening weekend, and a total of $33.40 million over the 4-day Labor Day frame. The film made $13.1 million on its first day, including $3.8 million from Thursday night previews, up from the totals of the first, $1.5 million, and second, $3.1 million, films. It went on to debut to $34.6 million, and a total of $42.8 million over the 4 days, topping the box office and marking the second best Labor Day weekend of all time, after Shanghai and the Legend of the Ten Rings, 2021. In its second weekend, the film fell 65% to $12 million, finishing second behind newcomer The Nun. Its biggest territories outside the United States and Canada were the United Kingdom, $10.2 million, Germany, $8.4 million, Australia, $7 million, and France, $6.7 million. Critical response on the review aggregator website at Rotten Tomatoes, 76% of 168 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 6.3. The website's consensus reads, "Another entertaining outing from Antoine Fuqua and Denzel Washington. The Equalizer 3A mostly makes up for its formulaic story with generous helpings of cathartic action." A Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 58 out of 100, based on 38 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences surveyed by Cinemascoria gave the film an average grade of A on an A+2F scale, same as the previous installment, while those polled at Postrica gave it a 90% overall positive score, with 72% saying they would definitely recommend the film. The Independent's Clarice Lowry gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, writing, "At its best The Equalizer 3A is about as good as the first film. It neatly counterbalances Fuqua's Baroque, blood and guts action with Washington's ability to command attention while sitting perfectly still." The Sunday Times' Tom Schoen also gave it 3 out of 5 stars, writing, "Whether enjoying a cappuccino, flirting with a waitress or snapping men's forearms, Washington makes it all seem like a movie star enjoying a midlife dolce vita moment." Kyle Smith of The Wall Street Journal wrote, "For those who can tolerate extreme violence, The Equalizer 3A is diverting enough. If the script is so-so, the beautiful Italian locations, Mr. Washington's still world-class charm and an eerie, frightening musical score by Marcello Zarvos lift it." Accolades. The film was nominated at the Saturn Award for Best Action or Adventure Film, 31A, while Fuqua was nominated for an Outstanding Directing in a Motion Picture and Washington for an Outstanding Actor in a Motion Picture at the 55th NAACP Image Awards. 32. Future. In August 2023, Antoine Fuqua stated that there had been discussions about developing a prequel movie detailing the origins of Robert McCall. The filmmaker stated that using aging technology to make Washington appear younger was an option. 33A, and that he would also consider casting a John David Washington or Michael B. Jordan in the role of McCall. Later that month, Fuqua stated that Willie the Equalizer 3A was talked about internally as the final film in the franchise. He would be interested in returning as director for a future installment if Washington were interested in returning as well. In November 2024, Washington announced that he had agreed to perform in 2 new movies: The Equalizer 4A and The Equalizer 5. The Equalizer 3 is filled with symbolism and a thematic depth. One of the key themes in the movie is the idea of redemption, and McCall's internal struggle with his violent past is at the forefront of the film, and we see how his desire for redemption is in constant conflict with the reality of the violent world he inhabits. This theme resonates with the audience on a personal level, as Ida touches on the universal struggle of trying to make amends for past mistakes. The film also explores the theme of justice. McCall's actions throughout the movie raise important questions about what true justice is. Is it about punishing the wrongdoers, or is it about finding peace within oneself? The movie doesn't offer easy answers, which make it all the more powerful. McCall's journey is one of moral ambiguity, where the lines between right and wrong area often blurred. The film's cinematography plays a huge role in amplifying these themes. The sweeping shots of the Italian countryside provide a sense of isolation mirroring McCall's emotional state. The action sequences are masterfully crafted, with each fight scene meticulously choreographed to highlight McCall's tactical brilliance. The camera work in these scenes is particularly effective at building tension, making every movie feel consequential in terms of the filmmaking techniques used in The Equalizer 3. Director Antoine Fuqua continues his tradition of delivering intense, fast-paced action while also infusing the film with emotional depth. The pacing of the movie is spot on, allowing the attention to build gradually while keeping audiences on the edge of their seats. The editing is sharp, ensuring that each fight sequence flows seamlessly into the next. The sound design is another standout aspect of the film. The quiet moments where McCall reflects on his past and his motivations are accompanied by a subtle yet haunting score, underscoring the internal conflict that defines the character. In contrast, the action scenes are punctuated by explosive sound effects that add to the impact of each punch, gunshot and explosion. As we approach the end of this breakdown, it's clear that The Equalizer 3 is a fitting conclusion to the saga of Robert McCall. The film balances a heart-stopping action with emotional complexity, offering audiences a deep, satisfying exploration of its central character. McCall's journey is one of growth, redemption and the brutal cost of seeking justice, making this film more than just a revenge thriller. It's a story about the choices we make and the consequences they bring. The critical reception of the film has been overwhelmingly positive, with many praising Denzel Washington's powerful performance and the film's balance of action and emotion. Fans of the franchise will no doubt find The Equalizer 3 to be an exciting and emotionally fulfilling end to McCall's journey. But what about you? What did you think of McCall's final chapter? Did you enjoy the twists and the turns, or were there moments that left you questioning the nature of justice and redemption? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this breakdown of The Equalizer 3, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more movie analysis, reviews and deep dives into all your favorite films. I'll see you next time. The story begins with an air of calm, deceptive tranquility that blankets pictures coastal village in Italy. Robert McCall, a man whose past is marked by violence and loss, has seemingly left that life behind. His days are now spent in relative peace, walking through cobblestone streets and engaging in quiet conversations with the locals. The charm of the village and its warm community offer a stark contrast to the shadows that have followed Robert for so long, but beneath the serene surface lies an undercurrent of tension and unspoken menace that will soon unravel. One of Robert's habits in his newfound life is his morning ritual, enjoying espresso at the local cafe while observing the flow of life around him. He's grown fond of the Locals, especially a kind-hearted Dr. Enzo, who becomes a source of unexpected friendship. Their relationship feels genuine, built on mutual respect and subtle gestures of camaraderie. However, even as Roberto begins to feel like he belongs, he remains an outsider, his past haunting him in the smallest of moments. A twitch of the hand, a flicker of memory in his eyes. Things take a darker turn when Robert stumbles upon a grim discovery. One evening during a routine stroll, he notices something off in the village square. A small group of men with an intimidating presence seem out of place. Then their arrival coincides with an unexplained surge in fear among the villagers, whispers of extortion and violence rippling through the tight-knit community. Robert's instincts kick in, his mind piecing together fragments of conversations and observations. The shadows from his past may have receded, but his sharp skills for noticing a trouble remain as keen as ever, unable to ignore the growing unease. Robert begins to investigate discreetly. His inquiries lead him to cover a web of criminal activity orchestrated by the Camorra, a ruthless criminal organization operating in the region. Their influence has reached the village, threatening to upend its peace. Local businesses are being coerced into paying protection money, and those who resist face devastating consequences. One fateful night, Robert's investigation brings him face to face with a harsh reality of the Camorra's grip on the village. A young shopkeeper, Luca, becomes the target of their wrath for refusing to comply with their demands. Robert witnesses the brutal assault from a distance, his moral compass igniting an internal battle. He has tried so hard to leave his old ways behind, but the sight of injustice stirs something deep within him. The question looms: can he stand by and let these happen, or must he intervene and risk being pulled back into a life he desperately wants to escape? The choice is made for him when Luca's injuries become life-threatening and Robert finds himself rushing the boy to Ansasa Clinic. The encounter cements Robert's role as the protector of this community. Enzo, sensing Robert's inner conflict, becomes an unwitting confidant. There are discussions layered with tension and understanding hint at Robert's turbulent past without ever explicitly revealing it. Enzo sees the goodness in Robert, even if Robert struggles to see it in himself. What follows is a calculated but intense series of actions by Robert. He begins to dismantle the Camorra's operations in the village with surgical precision. Using his unparalleled tactical skills, he targets their supply chains, disrupts their plans, and sends a chilling message to their leaders. The villagers, initially skeptical of his methods, slowly come to trust him, recognizing him as their silent guardian. Each act of defiance brings the village closer to reclaiming its freedom, but also puts Roberta squarely in the sights of the Camorra's top and enforcers. Amid this escalating battle, a subplot unfolds with a significant emotional weight. Roberta befriends a young girl, Sofia, whose father was one of the Camorra's victims. Her resilience and unyielding spirit become a source of inspiration for him. Their bond is tender, serving as a reminder of what Robert is fighting for: not just justice, but a future where people like Sofia can live without fear. The tension peaks when Robert's covert actions lead to the capture of one of the Camorra's henchmen. The interrogation is raw, filled with psychological maneuvers that showcase Robert's mastery and outsmarting his enemies without succumbing to unnecessary violence. The henchman's confession unveils critical information, a larger plot that extends beyond the village, threatening to engulf the entire region in chaos. Robert's determination intensifies, and the villagers, emboldened by his bravery, begin to stand up for themselves in small but significant ways. Shopkeepers refuse to pay protection money, families band together, and whispers of resistance spread like wildfire. It's a delicate balance, though one wrong move could bring the full wrath of the Camorra upon them. The first climactic turning point arrives when the Cur retaliates in a devastating attack on the village square, targeting anyone they suspect of aiding Robert. It's a chilling display of father power intended to crush the spirit of resistance, but instead of breaking the community rallies together united by their shared suffering and a newfound sense of strength as Robert tends to Thea wounded and consoles the grieving Thea. Gravity of his mission becomes clear. He is no longer just fighting to protect the village, he's fighting to preserve its soul. The stage is set for a showdown, a battle that will test the limits of Robert's resolve and redefine his purpose, the quiet resolve that blankets the village following the sea's brutal retaliation is only a temporary preview. The air is thick with a mix of grief and determination as Robert McCall methodically prepares for what lies ahead. The attack has made one thing painfully clear: the Camorra will not stop until they have crushed every flicker of resistance, and so Robert, the reluctant protector, fully embraces his role, setting the stage for a confrontation that will change the lives of every Inia in the village. The days that follow area marked by a tense calm. Robert dives deeper into the web of corruption, piecing together the Camorra's hierarchy and discovering the identity of their leader, a man known only as Vincent. Ruthless, cunning and driven by greed, Vincent embodies the very worst of the criminal underworld, but he is more than just a faceless villain. Vincent has a personal vendetta against Roberta, triggered by the systematic dismantling of his operations. The conflict is no longer just business for Vincent, it's personal, and his fury knows no bounds. Robert understands that his methods of drawing Vincent out into the open, and he uses this to his advantage. With careful planning, he sets a trap to expose Vincent's operations on a grander scale, targeting a shipment that is crucial to the Camorra's expansion. The plan is daring, bordering on reckless, but Roberta knows the stakes leave no room for half measures. Under the cover of darkness, he infiltrates the heavily guarded port where the shipment is being prepared. What follows is a masterclass in tension and precision. Robert maneuvers through the labyrinth of shipping containers, using his unparalleled tactical skills to evade detection. When he reaches the shipment, he plants explosives that will not only destroy the goods but also leave behind evidence of the Camorra's illicit activities. Just as he's about to retreat, an unexpected twist unravels a young man, one of the Camorra's newest recruits, spots him. The boy, barely out of his teens, hesitates, torn between fear and loyalty. Robert sees himself in the boy, a reminder of the paths life can force one to take in a moment. Charged with intensity, Robert spares the boy and delivers a chilling message: you still have a choice, don't waste it. The boy's decision to let Robert go becomes a small but significant crack in the Camorra foundation. The explosion at the port is a devastating blow to Vincent's imperium, but it comes at a cost. Robert's actions have escalated the conflict. It's a breaking point. The Camorra retaliates by taking hostages, including Sophia, the young girl who has become a beacon of hope for Robert and the villagers. The stakes could not be higher, and Robert is faced with an impossible choice: he surrender himself to Vincent or risk the lives of the hostages. The final act unfolds with relentless momentum. Robert devises a plan that combines his tactical brilliance with the courage of the villagers, who have grown increasingly emboldened under his guidance. Together they set a trap for Vincent and his men, using the village itself as a battlefield. It's a desperate gamble, but one that underscores the unity and resilience that has grown within the community. The showdown is nothing short of cinematic. The narrow streets and rustic buildings of the village become a maze of chaos as Roberta and the villagers execute their plan with precision. Every turn is fraught with danger, every moment a test of their resolve. Robert's ability to outthink and outmaneuver his enemies is on full display, but so is his humanity. He fights not just with skill but with heart, driven by a deep-seated need to protect the innocent. The climax reaches its peak when Robert confronts Vincent in a tense and emotionally charged face-off. The time men so different yet eerily similar in their relentless nature engage in a battle of wills that is as psychological as it is physical. Vincent, blinded by his arrogance, underestimates Robert's resourcefulness. Their confrontation ends in a moment of poetic justice as Vincent is defeated not by brute force but by the weight of his own hubris. With a Vincent's downfall came Aura's grip and the village is shattered. The hostages are freed and the villagers emerge from the shadows, their faces a mix of relief and gratitude. But Robert, ever lone wolf, knows his time in the village has come yet to an end. He has given them the tools to stand on their own, to rebuild and thrive without fear. The resolution is so bittersweet. As Robert prepares to leave, Sophia runs to him, her eyes filled with the tears. She thanks him not just for saving her but for showing her what courage looks like. The villagers gather to bid him farewell, their silent nods and soft smiles speaking volumes. Robert walks away, his silhouette fading into the horizon. A man who has found redemption, not seeking forgiveness but an offering Ida. In the aftermath, the village begins to heal. The scars of the conflict remain, but so does the strength and unity that Robert inspired. The final moments are a quiet celebration of resilience and hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times light can be found. And as Thea T.S. rule, one thing is clear: Roberto McCall may have left the village, but his impact will be felt for generations to come. The Equalizer 3A weaves its gripping narrative around a core group of characters, each pivotal in shaping the story's tension, emotional depth and moral complexity. While Thea film centers on Robert Moldover, a character serves as a mirror reflecting the different facets of his personality and a journey. By diving into these characters, their motivations and their relationships with one another, we uncover the rich tapestry that elevates this tale from an action-packed thriller to a profoundly human story. At the heart of it all is Robert McCall, the enigmatic equalizer whose calm demeanor masks the storm of complexity. Denzel Washington's portrayal is a masterclass in subtlety and restraint, conveying more through a flicker of his gaze or a pause in his speech than most can achieve with a lengthy dialogue. In this chapter of his life, Robert is a man searching for peace but haunted by the echoes of his violent past. His meticulous nature seen in everything from his methodical combat strategies to the quiet way he integrates into the village paints the portrait of a man constantly wrestling with control of his environment and perhaps more importantly of himself. Robert's evolution in this film is striking. Early on, he is a lone wolf, every action calculated for self-preservation and justice, but the quaint Hewlett village slowly chips away at his barriers, revealing a deeply empathetic man who yearns for connection even if he struggles to admit it. His bond with Sophia, a symbol of innocence and hope, humanizes him in ways words never could. It's in his protective instincts toward her that we see the tender heart of a warrior who has carried too much weight for too long. Sophia herself is a fascinating counterpoint to Robert. Though young and impressionable, she exudes a quiet strength that makes her far more than just a damsel in stress. Sophia represents the hope and purity that Robert has long believed lost in the world. Her curiosity about him here in guarded trust and her bravery in the face of danger all serve as catalysts for Robert's transformation. Sophia's growth throughout the story is subtle yet profound, from a white-eyed girl learning the harsh realities of life to someone willing to stand tall for her community. She embodies the resiliency that becomes the village's defining trait. Then there's Enzo, the affably yet sturdy cafe owner who acts as Robert's bridge to the villagers. Enzo's character is a beacon of quiet dignity. Through his interactions with Robert, we witness the power of patience and understanding where others might have shunned the mysterious stranger. Enzo chooses compassion, gradually drawing Robert out of his shell. Enzo's courage to is revealed in the latter half of the story. Despite being an everyman with no training or special skills, his willingness to stand up for his home and people showcases a heroism that is both relatable and inspiring. Vincent, the film's antagonist, is a perfect foil to Robert. Where Robert represents a discipline and purpose, Vincent embodies chaos and unchecked ambition. His methods are brutal, his motivations deeply self-serving, and yet there is an underlying tragedy to his character. Vincent's backstory, peppered with glimpses of hardship and betrayal, offers a glimpse into what could have been for Robert had he chosen a darker path. path their inevitable confrontation is not just a battle of wits and strength but a philosophical clash, each mana representing polar opposites of morality and resolve. The young recruit will cross his paths with Robert at the porta also deserves mention, though he appears so briefly his role carries significant emotional weight. This boy caught in the throes of poverty and coerced into a life of crime becomes a potent reminder of the fine line between innocence and corruption. His moment of hesitation when faced with the opportunity to kill Robert but ultimately choosing not to is a turning point, a sliver of hope amidst the bleakness. His decision underscores one of the film's central themes, the power of choice in defining one's destiny. The villagers collectively form another important character in the narrative, yet they start as a fragmented, fearful group cowed by years of exploitation and violence under to the Khmer's rule. Yet their transformation is one of the most gratifying arcs in the story, inspired by Robert's unflinching resolve and the quiet leadership of figures like Insoa. They begin to reclaim their agency. The shift is most evident during the climactic showdown, where their unity becomes the Khmer's greatest weakness. The villagers' evolution speaks to the enduring strength of community and the impact one person can have when they choose to stand up against tyranny. Jenna Collins is another critical figure, albeit operating from the periphery of the main action. Her investigative work into the Khmer and her subtly interactions with Robert highlight a mutual respect born from shared ideals. Emma's character is a reminder of the systemic challenges in fighting crime on a grand scale, and how individuals like Robert often fill the gaps left by a bureaucracy. She serves as a connection to Robert's past life and offers a glimpse into what he might have been had his circumstances been different. The dynamic between Robert and Emma is particularly intriguing, though they come from different worlds. Their shared sense of justice creates an unspoken bond. Emma's role as an investigator also adds a layer of suspense to the story. Her pursuit of the Khmer, painting a broader picture of the crime syndicate's reach beyond the village. Vincent's inner circle also adds depth to the narrative. Each member of his crew serves as a reflection of the Khmer's values or lack thereof. These men are not mere henchmen, they have their own fierce ambitions and moral failings. Their interactions with Vincent reveal the cracks in their loyalty, which Robert astutely exploits. This nuanced portrayal of the antagonists prevents them from being one-dimensional villains, instead of positioning them as products of a broken system. Finally, the village itself, with its cobblestone streets, rustic homes and breathtaking views, is more than just a backdrop. It's a living, breathing entity. Within the story, the setting mirrors Robert's internal struggle beautifully, yet scarred, tranquil yet brimming with unspoken tension. The village's transformation from a place of fear to a sanctuary of hope parallels the journey of its inhabitants and serves as a testament to Robert's influence in some. Yet the characters in the Equalizer 3 area intricately crafted, each serving a purpose beyond the immediate narrative. From Robert's stoic heroism to Sophia's unwavering hope, Enzo's quiet courage to Vincent's unchecked ambition and the villagers' collective strength, every character contributes to the film's emotional resonance. Together they create a story that is as much about the fight for justice as it is about the power of humanity to overcome adversity. The making of The Equalizer 3 2023 was also thrilling and dynamic as the story itself. Behind the meticulously choreographed fight scenes and evocative storytelling lies a treasure trove of fascinating behind-the-scenes facts and unexpected occurrences. The production journey was a blend of creative innovation, unplanned challenges, and surprising discoveries that added layers of depth and intrigue to this action-packed thriller. One of the most intriguing aspects of the film's production was its location. The decision to set the story in a picturesque Italian village wasn't just a creative choice, it was born out of a deep desire to contrast the harshness of Roberta McCall's violent world with the serenity of his new surroundings. This quaint village wasn't built on on a soundstage. Ita was an actual coastal gem carefully scouted for its natural beauty and in-touch charm. Filming here posed unique challenges, particularly for the cast and crew unaccustomed to the slower pace and intricate logistics of working in such a remote area. The villagers themselves became an integral part of the film's production. Many of the background extras were locals, adding an authentic touch to the scene, as initially some were hesitant to participate, unsure of how their peaceful community would be portrayed in a film about violence and justice. However, as they grew more familiar with the cast and crew, they embraced the project wholeheartedly. By the end of filming, the village was buzzing with excitement, with the stories of Denzel Washington sharing meals at local cafes or participating in impromptu soccer games with children becoming the stuff of local legend. Washington's commitment to his role is legendary, and this film was no exception. Known for his meticulous preparation, he spent months refining Robert McCall's movements, demeanor and psyche. Only a particularly fascinating anecdote involves a notebook Washington kept during production, filled with Robert's inner thoughts, motivations and personal philosophies. Though never shared publicly, this journal reportedly guided Washington through some of the film's most emotionally charged scenes, ensuring every moment felt authentic and grounded. The action sequences in The Equalizer 3 were another area where production took on a life of its own, choreographed by an elite team of martial artists and stunt coordinators. These scenes were as much about storytelling as spectacle. Only a standout fact is that Washington performed a significant portion of his own stunts, a testament to his physical prowess and dedication to the role. These wasn't without its risks. On one occasion, a fight rehearsal involving knives went resulting in a minor injury that halted production for a day. The incident, though unsettling, underscored the intensity and realism the filmmakers were striving for. Director Antoine Fuqua, a longtime collaborator with Washington, brought his own unique flair to the film's production. Was known for his hands-on approach, often operating the camera himself during pivotal scenes to capture the perfect shot. On set, he was a source of both inspiration and occasional humor, famously challenging cast members to impromptu chess matches between takes. This mix of focus and levity created a work environment where creativity could thrive even amid the film's darker themes. One of the strangest yet endearing stories from the set involves the presence of a stray cat that wandered into the village during filming. The feline, affectionately named McCall by the crew, became something of an unofficial mascot. McCall frequently appeared during outdoor scenes, prompting a few unscripted moments that made it into the final cut. These serendipitous encounters added a touch of charm to the film's otherwise intense narrative, and it quickly became a favorite story among the cast. Technology also played a key role in bringing the story to life, particularly in crafting the film's unique visual aesthetic. The use of drones for sweeping aerial shots of the village was groundbreaking, capturing the scenic beauty of the Italian coastline while emphasizing the isolation of Robert's new life. However, these drones weren't always cooperative. One notable mishap involved the drone that went rogue during an early morning shoot, crashing into a vendor's cart of fresh produce. While no one was hurt, the incident sparked laughter and earned the drone operator the nickname Tomato Tamer for the remainder of production. The film's soundtrack is another fascinating chapter in its production history. Historia composer Marcello's Rose drew inspiration from a mix of classical Italian melodies and modern electronic beats, creating a score that felt both timeless and contemporary. One lesser-known fact is that Zero spent time recording ambient sounds in the actual village church bells, waves crashing on the shore, and the hum of daily life, all of which were subtly woven into the music. This auditory layer added an severe quality to the film, rounding its in the sensory reality of its setting. One of the more emotional moments during a production came when the crew celebrated Washington's birthday on set. The surprise involved the entire village, with locals baking traditional Italian cakes and organizing a heartfelt celebration that left the seasoned actor this ably moved. The event became a symbol of the bond forged between the film's team and the community, a reminder that even amidst the chaos of Hollywood filmmaking, genuine connections can thrive. The more storyline central element of the plot brought its own set of challenges to accurately depict the workings of this infamous criminal organization. The filmmakers consulted with law enforcement experts and researchers familiar with the Italian mafia. However, this level of authenticity didn't come without risk. During a pre-production, rumors of the film's subject matter attracted the attention of certain groups, leading to increased security measures for the cast and crew. While these precautions were ultimately unnecessary, they added a layer of tension to the already complex logistics of filming in a foreign location. Another unusual fact about The Equalizer 3 involves a cameo that almost happened but didn't. Rumors swirled that Washington's son, actor John David Washington, was set to appear in a brief role, marking their first on-screen collaboration. While the plan fell through due to scheduling conflicts, the mere possibility generated significant buzz among fans. This missed opportunity remains one of the film's more intriguing WHFs. As production wrapped, the crew encountered one final challenge: a sudden storm that swept through the region, threatening to damage expensive equipment and delay the schedule. In true Equalizer fashion, the team banded together, working late into the night to secure the set and ensure no critical scenes were lost. The storm, while disruptive, became a bonding experience, further cementing the camaraderie that had grown over months of intense work. The stories and facts surrounding the making of The Equalizer 3 add a rich layer of context to an already compelling film. From Washington's deep commitment to his craft to the unexpected contributions of a stray cat, these behind-the-scenes moments remind us that filmmaking is as much about the journey as it is about the final product. These tales of creativity, resilience, and serendipity make the film's world feel even more alive, drawing audiences deeper into Robert McCall's quest for justice and redemption. The Equalizer 3, a 2023, is not just an action film, it is a layered, thought-provoking exploration of morality, redemption, and the fine line between justice and vengeance. Each major event in the movie serves as a narrative thread, weaving together an intricate story that leaves a lasting emotional impact. By analyzing these pivotal moments critically, we can better appreciate how they enhance the film's depth and contribute to its profound resonance with audiences. From the very beginning, the film sets a tone of quiet intensity. Robert McCall's arrival in a serene Italian village seems on the surface like a retreat from his tumultuous past. However, this initial piece is tinged with an underlying tension. The audience senses that his new environment, while beautiful, harbors a darkness beneath its look facade. These duality mirrors Mal's own inner conflict, a man seeking but still tethered to his violent methods of righting wrongs. This thematic interplay between tranquility and chaos immediately draws viewers into the film's emotional core. One of the film's most significant events occurs early on when McCall intervenes in the lives of local villagers oppressed by a dangerous camera gang. This confrontation is not just a display of physical prowess but a morally charged moment that underscores the film's central question: how far should one go to protect the innocent? McCall's calculated yet brutal actions force the audience to grapple with their own notions of justice. Is violence justified when used to counter greater violence? By presenting this dilemma without offering easy answers, the film invites viewers into a complex ethical discourse. A critical turning point in the narrative is McCall's growing a connection to the villagers. His relationship with the local cafe owner and a young doctor humanizes him in ways we haven't seen before. These highlight his desire for normalcy and belonging, making his journey relatably and poignant. Yet these moments of vulnerability are juxtaposed with his unrelenting pursuit of justice, creating a rich character dynamic that resonates on multiple levels. McCall's duality as both protector and avenger is a powerful commentary on the burdens of living as a moral outlier. One particularly striking event is McCall's decision to confront the cur directly. This sequence is masterfully executed both narratively and cinematically. The tension builds incrementally as Mal meticulously plans his assault, reflecting his tactical brilliance. The confrontation itself is a symphony of precision and chaos, showcasing his unmatched skill while emphasizing the stakes involved on a critical level. This scene transcends action-oriented surface, delving into themes of sacrifice and the cyclical nature of violence. McCall's actions area as much about liberating the village as they're about finding personal absolution, making this moment profoundly impactful. The film's climax, While beautiful harbors darkness beneath its idyllic facade, this duality mirrors McCall's own inner conflict, a man seeking but still tethered to his violent methods of righting wrongs. This thematic interplay between tranquility and chaos immediately draws viewers into the film's emotional core. One of the film's most significant events occurs early on when McCall intervenes in the lives of local villagers oppressed by a dangerous camera gang. This confrontation is not just a display of physical prowess but a morally charged moment that underscores the film's central question: how far should one go to protect the innocent? McCall's calculated yet brutal actions force the audience to grapple with their own notions of justice. Is violence justified when used to counter greater violence? By presenting this dilemma without offering easy answers, the film invites viewers into a complex ethical discourse. A critical turning point in the narrative is McCall's growing connection to the villagers. His relationship with a local cafe owner and a young doctor humanizes him in ways we haven't seen before. These intro highlight his desire for normalcy and belonging, making his journey relatable and poignant. Yet these moments of vulnerability are juxtaposed with his unrelenting pursuit of justice, creating a rich character dynamic that resonates on multiple levels. McCall's duality as both protector and avenger is a powerful commentary on the burdens of living as a moral outlier. One particularly striking event is McCall's decision to confront the cur directly. This sequence is masterfully executed both narratively and cinematically. The tension builds incrementally as McCall meticulously plans his assault, reflecting his tactical brilliance. The confrontation itself is a symphony of precision and chaos, showcasing his unmatched skill while emphasizing the stakes involved on a critical level. This scene transcends its action-oriented surface, delving into themes of sacrifice and the cyclical nature of violence. McCall's actions are as much about liberating the villain as they are about finding personal absolution, making this moment profoundly impactful. The film's climax is another event worthy of deep analysis. In a gripping showdown with the Camara's ruthless leader, McCall faces his most formidable challenge, yet this confrontation is not just a physical battle but a symbolic reckoning with his past. The setting, a crumbling abandoned villa, serves as a metaphor for McCall's fractured psyche, with each blow exchanged echoing his internal struggle. This climactic scene encapsulates the film's thematic resonance, blending visceral action with emotional catharsis. The resolution, while satisfying, leaves room for introspection, reminding viewers that even triumph comes at a cost. Thematically, The Equalizer 3 explores the concept of redemption through McCall's journey. His acts of violence, while often necessary, weigh heavily on him, creating a narrative tension that permeates the film. This internal conflict is brilliantly illustrated in quieter moments such as McCall reflecting alone by the sea. These scenes offer a stark contrast to the film's high-octane sequences, emphasizing the psychological toll of his actions. By delving into McCall's inner world, the film elevates itself beyond the typical action genre, offering a nuanced portrayal of a man grappling with his own humanity. Another theme that emerges strongly is the idea of community. McCall's integration into the village reflects his yearning for connection, and his eventual role as its protector underscores the importance of collective resilience. The villagers, initially portrayed as passive victims, gradually find their own strength, inspired by McCall's courage. This transformation adds a layer of emotional richness to the story, illustrating how individual heroism can spark communal empowerment. Critically, this aspect of the film resonates deeply with audiences, offering a hopeful message amidst the narrative's darker elements. Symbolism plays a crucial role in reinforcing the film's themes. The village itself is more than just a setting, it represents McCall's hope for a fresh start. The cobblestone streets, sun apple terraces, and ancient architecture evoke a sense of timeless beauty, contrasting sharply with the violence that unfolds. This juxtaposition serves as a visual metaphor for McCall's dual existence, caught between peace and chaos. Similar recurring imagery of water, be it the ocean waves or a simple glass of wine, symbolizes cleansing and renewal, subtly underscoring McCall's quest for redemption. From a critical perspective, the film's use of sound and cinematography enhances its emotional resonance. The score, composed of haunting melodies interspersed with pulsating beats, mirrors the film's tonal shifts, drawing viewers deeper into McCall's world. The cinematography, with its sweeping shots of the Italian coastline and intimate close-ups of McCall's contemplative expressions, creates a visual language that complements the story's emotional depth. These artistic choices elevate the film, making it as much a sensory experience as it is a Narrative 1 Audience reception to The Equalizer 3 reflects its multifaceted impact. While many praised the film's intense action sequences and Washington's compelling performance, others were struck by its quieter introspective moments. This duality of adrenaline-fueled thrills and profound emotional beats is what sets the movie apart, resonating with a wide spectrum of viewers. Critics have noted that the film's willingness to delve into complex themes such as morality and community gives it a timeless quality, ensuring its place as a standout entry in the franchise. In conclusion, The Equalizer 3 is more than just an action-packed thriller. It is a deeply layered exploration of human nature, morality, and the search for meaning through its significant events and thematic richness. The film invites viewers into a world that is as thought-provoking as it is exhilarating. By blending visceral action with emotional depth, it creates an unforgettable cinematic experience, leaving audiences with much to ponder long after the credits roll. The making of The Equalizer 3 2023 was as intricate and fascinating as the story it told on screen, bringing Robert McCall's world to life for what might be his final chapter involved a blend of meticulous planning, creative innovation, and moments of serendipity. The production was a journey marked by exciting challenges, unexpected twists, and unforgettable stories that shaped the film into what audiences ultimately experienced. Let's delve into the behind-the-scenes world of The Equalizer 3 and uncover the fascinating process and moments that made it all possible. The decision to set much of the story in southern Italy came early in the filmmaking process. Director Antoine Fuqua envisioned a backdrop that could juxtapose tranquility with danger, beauty with menace, a perfect mirror of Robert McCall's own duality. Choosing the picturesque Amalfi Coast was a masterstroke, but filming in this breathtaking location came with its own set of challenges: narrow cobblestone streets, centuries-old architecture, and the sheer logistical complexity of shooting in small bustling Italian villages required the crew to get creative to capture the authentic essence of the region. Fuqua worked closely with local historians and cultural consultants. They ensured that every shot felt true to its Italian roots, from the food on Mal's plate to the music playing in the background. The production even partnered with local artisans to design props and set pieces, infusing the film with genuine Italian craftsmanship. These details might go unnoticed by many viewers, but they played a crucial role in immersing the audience in McCall's adopted world. Filming in such a picturesque local wasn't without its lighter moments. One memorable anecdote involved Denzel Washington, who frequently took breaks between takes to chat with local residents. His warm demeanor and genuine curiosity endeared him to the villagers, many of whom had never seen a Hollywood production up close. During one break, he even joined a group of local fishermen for an impromptu lunch of freshly caught seafood. This kind of connection added an organic layer of authenticity to the production as Washington himself absorbed the rhythm of life in the village. Another fascinating aspect of the production was the attention to Robert McCall's transformation. The script required McCall to appear both at peace and constantly aware of the potential for violence around him. To embody this duality, Washington collaborated closely with a movement coach, refining the subtle ways McCall carried himself. His posture, gestures, and even his breathing were carefully calibrated to convey a man who has seen the worst of humanity but still clings to hope. The action sequences in The Equalizer 3 posed a unique challenge for the production team. Fuqua wanted the violence to feel raw, immediate, and personal, a far cry from the polished, larger-than-life stunts often seen in modern action films. To achieve this, the team worked with veteran fight choreographers to design scenes that showcased McCall's precision and efficiency. Every move was deliberate, every strike purposeful, reflecting McCall's calculated approach to eliminating threats. The choreography blended seamlessly with Washington's performance, emphasizing McCall's expertise while never glorifying the violence itself. Behind the camera, the production team employed innovative techniques to create an immersive visual style. Cinematographer Robert Richardson, known for his work on films like The Hateful Eight and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, used natural light to capture the vibrant colors of the Amalfi Coast. The decision to rely on natural lighting added a layer of realism to the film, making the village feel like a living, breathing character. Richardson also employed handheld cameras for many of the action sequences, putting viewers right in the middle of the chaos. One particularly challenging scene involved a dramatic nighttime confrontation in the heart of the village. To maintain the authenticity of the setting, the crew avoided using journey unfolded, and the film's cinematic elements turned this breathtaking local into a character in its own right. The decision to set the film in southern Italy was not made lightly. The Amalfi Coast with its rugged cliffs, azure waters, and ancient villages provided a stark contrast to McCall's turbulent inner world. Fuqua wanted a place that could reflect both tranquility and tension, a sanctuary with an undercurrent of danger. The region's timeless beauty allowed the film to explore themes of redemption and belonging, while its labyrinthine streets and shadowy alleys offered the perfect stage for Mall's moments of calculated violence. One of the first things audiences notice is how the setting shifts between light and darkness, serenity and chaos. The film opens with sweeping shots of the coastline where sunlight dances on the water and the world feels untouched by time. These scenes establish a sense of peace, lulling viewers into a false sense of security. But as the story progresses, the same idyllic streets become battlegrounds, and the golden light is replaced by the eerie glow of moonlit danger. This visual dichotomy mirrors McCall's own journey, his struggle to leave behind a life of violence while being pulled back into it when justice demands it. The Amalfi Coast villages play a significant role in grounding the film's narrative. The production team scouted locations extensively, looking for places that could evoke a sense of authenticity and intimacy. They found exactly what they were searching for in the small towns that the coastline, each with its own unique charm. Narrow cobblestone streets, centuries-old buildings, and vibrant bazaars became integral to the story. These spaces didn't just serve as pretty backdrops, they created a sense of community and connection, which was crucial for Mall's character arc. One particularly memorable location was the local cafe where Mall forms bonds with the villagers. This cafe, with its rustic wooden furniture, shelves lined with jars of olives and preserves, and the aroma of a fresh espresso wafting through the air, became a symbol of Mall's attempt to build a new life. The production team paid meticulous attention to detail, even working with local artisans to ensure the decor felt authentic. Everything from the handwritten menu on the chalkboard to the sound of clinking coffee cups added layers of realism to these scenes. Another standout setting was the Tona Square, where much of the film's tension unfolds. The square, with its fountain at the center and rows of brightly colored buildings, was both a place of congregation and confrontation. During the day it bustled with life, children playing, vendors selling fresh produce, and neighbor exchanging greetings. But as night fell, it transformed into a shadowy stage from Mall's missions. The interplay between light and shadow in these scenes was masterfully captured by cinematographer Robert Richardson, whose use of natural lighting added an almost tactile quality to the visuals. Richardson's cinematography deserves a special mention for the way it elevated the film's mood and tone. Known for his ability to create striking contrasts, Richardson used the natural beauty of the Amalfi Coast to emphasize McCall's inner conflict. Wide-angle shots of the coastline conveyed a sense of freedom and expansiveness, while tight claustrophobic frames during action sequences highlighted the tension and danger lurking beneath the surface. The result was a visual language that felt both poetic and visceral. One of the most striking sequences in the film takes place during a stormy night as McCall navigates the rain-soaked streets in pursuit of his enemies. The combination of torrential rain, flickering street lights, and the glint of wet cobblestone created an atmosphere of palpable dread. To achieve this effect, the production team worked tirelessly to control the elements using massive rain machines and carefully placed lighting rigs. The scene's raw intensity was further heightened by Richardson's choice to shoot much of it handheld, bringing viewers into the heart of the chaos. The use of color was another crucial element in defining the film's atmosphere. The warm, earthy tones of the village during the day, terracotta roofs, sunlit stucco walls, and vibrant flower boxes contrasted sharply with the cold, desaturated palette of the nighttime sequences. This deliberate shift in color helped to visually delineate Mall's worlds, the life he yearned for and the life he couldn't escape. Sound design also played a pivotal role in immersing audiences in the setting. The filmmakers captured ambient sounds from the Amalfi Coast itself, the crash of waves against the cliffs, the distant hum of fishing boats, and the chirping of cicadas at dusk. These subtle audio details added layers of authenticity to the film, making viewers feel as though they were walking alongside McCall. In moments of tension, the sound design became more minimalist, with every creak of a floorboard or rustle of leaves amplified. heightened the suspense. The film's use of music further enhanced its connection to Thea's setting. Marcello's Rose score blended traditional Italian instrumentation like mandolins and accordion with modern orchestral arrangements. This fusion created a soundscape that felt both timeless and contemporary, perfectly complementing the film's themes of old-world charm colliding with modern justice. One standout piece was a hauntingly beautiful violin solo that played during a pivotal scene in the church, underscoring McCall's vulnerability and resolve. Speaking of the church, it was another setting that carried significant weight in the film. The small centuries-old chapel with its weathered pews and flickering candlelight became a place of solace and a reflection for all. The production team worked with local historians to ensure the church's design was true to the region's architectural traditions. The interplay of light filtering through stained glass windows and the shadows cast by the flickering candles created a visually stunning tableau that underscored the film's themes of redemption and forgiveness. The filmmakers also used the natural environment to great effect. The cliffs and caves of the Amalfi Coast became a symbolic of McCall's own psyche, a beautiful yet treacherous, offering both a sanctuary and danger. One particularly striking sequence involved Mal standing at the edge of a cliff gazing out at the vast expanse of the sea. The shot captured during the golden hour was a visual metaphor for Mal's journey, standing on the precipice, torn between the peace he seeks and the battles he must fight. Ultimately, the setting and cinematic elements of the Equalizer 3A worked in perfect harmony to tell a story that was as visually captivating as it was emotionally resonant. The Amalfi Coast wasn't just a backdrop, it was a character in its own right, shaping the narrative and reflecting McCall's inner world through masterful cinematography, meticulous production design and soundscape. The filmmakers created an atmosphere that drew audiences into McCall's journey, making them feel every moment of his struggle, triumph and redemption. Behind the scenes of the Equalizer 3, a world just as fascinating as the one on screen unfolded. The Amalfi Coast may have served as the picturesque backdrop, but the real magic happened when the cameras were controlling the cast and crew, led by director Antoine Fuqua and the enigmatic Denzel Washington, brought a blend of camaraderie, creativity and sheer determination to the production. Each day on set was a mix of challenges, ladder and unexpected surprises, making the journey of creating this action-packed thriller unforgettable. A bond beyond the script. At the heart of the production was the deep bond between Denzel Washington and Antoine Fuqua, a partnership spanning multiple films. Their mutual respect and shared understanding of the story's essence created a working environment filled with trust. Fuqua often described Denzel as the heartbeat of the film. Willie Denzel praised Fuqua's visionary approach, calling him the captain steering the ship. Their synergy set the tone for the entire cast and crew. Dakota Fanning returning to share the screen with Denzel after nearly 2 decades since A Man on Fire found herself in awe of his mentorship. It was like coming home, she shared in interviews, recalling how Denzel's yet commanding presence made every scene feel electric. Between takes they would reminisce about their time on their earlier project, drawing laughter and nostalgia from the crew. The Amalfi Coast, a stunning yet tricky co-star filming on the Amalfi Coast cameo with its unique set of challenges. The location's beauty added an unparalleled depth to the film's visual storytelling. It also presented logistical hurdles. The narrow winding streets of the coastal villages made transporting equipment a Herculean task. Trucks often couldn't reach key filming spots, forcing crew members to carry heavy gear by hand through cobblestone paths and steep inclines. Despite the effort, no one could deny the breathtaking payoff. The locals, however, were more than accommodating. Many villagers became unofficial extras, eagerly offering their homes, cafes and pizzas for the film. In return, the cast and crew immersed themselves in the local culture. Denzel was often spotted at the market chatting with vendors and sampling fresh produce. Dakota, on her days off, joined locals in making traditional Italian dishes, her favorite being handmade gnocchi. Whether and an on-set humor nature didn't always cooperate with the production schedule. One particularly dramatic scene required a stormy setting. As luck would have it, the crew arrived on location during a sunny streak that seemed unbreakable to create the desired effect. Massive rain machines were brought in, drenching the set, but as if on an actual storm rolled in halfway through filming, doubling the intensity of the scene. The crew worked tirelessly through The downpour with Fuqua, that Mother Nature wanted a directing a credit between the intensity of action sequences and the meticulous attention to detail required for every shot. Humor became the crew's secret weapon. Denzel, known for his serious on-screen persona, turned out to be the prankster on set. During one particularly tense shoot, he managed to sneak a fake severed hand into a prop pile, giving a makeup artist quite the scare. The laughter that followed was a much-needed release for everyone. A surprising guest star. One of the most heartwarming behind-the-scenes moments came courtesy of a furry friend. While filming in a remote village, a stray dog began hanging around the set. The crew quickly adopted the pup, naming her Bella. Bella became a fixture on set, often lounging in the director's chair or following in between takes. The dog's presence brought a sense of joy and a lightheartedness to the grueling production schedule. By the end of filming, Bella had found a forever home with one of the crew members' action sequences crafting controlled chaos. The Equalizer franchise is known for its meticulously choreographed action, and at the third installment raised the bar even higher. Denzel, who insists not performing many of his own stunts, underwent rigorous training to prepare for the role. Martial arts experts and tactical advisors were brought in to ensure every fight scene felt authentic and grounded. One of the film's most intense sequences, a hand-to-hand combat scene in a dimly lit wine cellar, required weeks of rehearsal. The confined space added to the challenge, with the crew needing to navigate tight corners and low ceilings while capturing every angle. Despite the physical demands, Denzel remained focused and dedicated, often pushing for additional takes to perfect the scene. The stunt team also faced its share of challenges in a sequence involving a high-speed chase along the cliffside roads. Precision driving was paramount. The crew used a combination of practical effects and drone cameras to capture the breathtaking shots. However, one near miss involving a stunt car and a wayward goat nearly derailed the scene. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the footage ended up being one of the most thrilling moments in the film, crafting a visual masterpiece. The attention to detail extended beyond the action. Production designer Naomi Schoen worked tirelessly to create sets that felt both authentic and cinematic. From All's home, she drew inspiration from traditional Italian villas, incorporating rustic wooden beams, terracotta tiles, and an eclectic mix of vintage furniture. Every element was carefully chosen to reflect Mal's evolving sense of peace and belonging. Sean's team collaborated closely with the local artisans to source materials, ensuring the set design stayed true to the region's character. One particular challenge involved creating a realistic explosion in the town square without damaging the historic architecture. Using a combination of digital effects and carefully controlled by techniques, the team pulled off a scene that was both visually stunning and respectful of the location. Overcoming language barriers. Working in Italy meant navigating language barriers between the international crew and local collaborators. Translators became invaluable members of the team, ensuring smooth communication during every phase of production. The language gap occasionally led to humorous misunderstandings, like when a local prop supplier misunderstood a request for fake wine bottles and delivered cases of actual wine instead. Needless to say, the crew didn't mind the mix-up. The final farewell as filming wrapped, there was a palpable sense of accomplishment mixed with bittersweet goodbyes. The final scene, shot during the golden hour on the Amalfi Coast, captured not only McCall's journey but also the journey of everyone who worked on the film. Denzel gave a heartfelt speech thanking the crew for their tireless efforts and dedication. This isn't just a movie, he said, it's a testament to what we can achieve together in the end. The behind-the-scenes story of The Equalizer 3 is one of resilience, creative and camaraderie. From overcoming logistical challenges to forming lifelong friendships, the production was a testament to the power of collaboration. It's a reminder that the magic of cinema isn't just what happens on screen, it's the countless moments, big and small, that bring a story to life. The Equalizer 3A isn't just an action-packed thrill ride, it's a story layered with rich themes and intricate symbolism that elevated beyond its surface narrative. Beneath the tension of its pulse-pounding moments. The film delves into universal human truths, exploring themes of redemption, justice, and the search for peace. Through the lens of Robert McCall's journey, the movie weaves a tapestry of deeper meanings that resonate with audiences on an emotional and intellectual level. The struggle for redemption at its core. McCall's story is a quest for redemption, haunted by the lives he's taken and the moral compromises he's made. McCall's every action seems driven by an unspoken need to balance the scales. In the idyllic Italian village where he finds himself, he begins to experience a glimmer of peace, a chance to step away from his violent past. This theme is symbolized in the transformation of Mal's surroundings. The serene landscape so the Amalfi Coast with their quiet streets and golden sunsets contrast sharply with the chaos and bloodshed he's left behind. The setting becomes a metaphor for his internal struggle, seeking serenity in a world that constantly pulls him back into darkness. But redemption isn't a straight path, and the Equalizer 3 doesn't shy away from showing the weight of McCall's past. Each time he steps in to defend the vulnerable or deliver justice, he wrestles with the question of whether his actions are truly righteous or merely a continuation of his violent tendencies. The film challenges viewers to consider whether true redemption is ever possible, or if some actions leave a permanent stain. The duality of justice and injustice is another central theme, and it's explored through Mal's complex moral code. Like traditional heroes, Mal operates in the great areas of morality. He doesn't believe in waiting for the system to work. Instead, he takes matters into his own hands, often meting out brutal punishments to those he deems deserving. The film uses symbolism to explore this duality. Mal's weapons of choice, everything from household objects to the environment around him, highlight his resourcefulness but also serve as a reminder of the violence he's capable of wielding. Each improvised weapon becomes a symbol of his unpredictability, a reflection of his moral ambiguity. Another layer of symbolism lies in the recurring imagery of balance scales, whether literal or metaphorical, appear subtly throughout the film. This motif underscores McCall's internal struggle to weigh the cost of his actions against the justice they bring. The film asks, can justice ever be truly balanced, or does McCall's brand of vigilantism tip the scales too far? The search for peace amidst the action and intrigue. The Equalizer 3 is also a story about the search for peace, for all peace into just a physical state. It's a psychological one. Having lived a life marked by violence and loss, he yearns for a sense of belonging and tranquility. This search is most evident in his interactions with the townspeople of the village. The people Mal encounters represent a kind of purity and a simplicity that he's longed for but never truly experienced, except the warm smiles of shopkeepers, the laughter of fat children, and the quiet hum of daily life. Contrast with the cold, calculated world he's known. In these moments, the film captures the fragility of peace, a state that can be easily shattered by the encroaching darkness of Mal's enemies. Symbolically, the village itself becomes a character in the story. Its narrow alleys and ancient architecture represented timelessness, a place untouched by the chaos of the outside world. From all, it's both a refuge and a battleground, a space where he confronts the question of whether he can ever truly escape his past. Symbolism in the smallest details. Director Antoine Fuqua has a talent for embedding a symbolism in the smallest details, and the Equalizer 3 is no exception. Only a particularly striking example is the recurring motif of light and shadow throughout the film. Mal is often framed in shadow, his face partially obscured, symbolizing the parts of himself he tries to hide. Conversely, moments of light like the glow of the sunrise over the Amalfi Coast represent his fleeting glimpses of hope and redemption. Another layer of symbolism is found in the use of clocks and timepieces. Time becomes a metaphor for Mal's life, both as a countdown to his inevitably confrontation with his enemies and as a reminder of the years he spent running from his past. The ticking of a clock in key scenes creates a sense of urgency, underscoring the fragility of the peace. McCall has found themes of community and a connection, while McCall is often portrayed as a lone wolf. The Equalizer 3A introduces a poignant theme of community. The relationships he forms with the villagers, be it the local cafe owner, the kind doctor, or the curious child, highlight the human need for connection. These moments of warmth and humanity act as a counterbalance to the film's darker elements. The community struggle against the oppressive forces threatening their way of life mirrors McCall's own battle for peace. By standing with them, McCall finds a renewed sense of purpose. This theme is symbolized in the community communal rituals of the village, from shared meals to festivals, which contrasts starkly with the isolation McCall has known. Life, death, and the cycle of violence. Death looms so large in The Equalizer 3, not just as a plot device but as a thematic undercurrent. McCall's actions often bring him face to face with mortality, both his own and that of those around him. The film explores the idea of violence as a cycle, one that McCall has been both a victim and perpetrator of. Symbolically, the film uses recurring imagery of broken objects, a shatter at a glassy crumbling wall, a cracked mirror, to represent the destruction left in violence's wake. These visual cues remind viewers that every act of justice McCall delivers comes at a cost, both to him himself and to those he's trying to protect. Hope and legacy. Despite its darker themes, The Equalizer 3 ends on a note of hope. The film suggests that while McCall may never fully escape his past, he can still create a better future for himself and for others. His actions inspire the villagers to stand up for themselves, leaving a lasting legacy of courage and resilience. This theme is captured symbolically in the final scenes, where the golden light of the setting sun bathes the village. It's a moment of closure both for McCall and for the audience, signifying that even in a world filled with darkness, moments of light and hope can prevail. A journey of meaning. The Equalizer 3 uses its themes and symbolism to craft a story that lingers long after the credits roll. It's a film that challenges viewers to think deeply about justice, redemption, and the human capacity for change. Through its intricate storytelling and powerful imagery, it reminds us that even in the darkest moments there's always the possibility of finding light. Filmmaking is an art that blends creativity, precision, and technical mastery, and The Equalizer 3 stands as a testament to this craft. Directed by Antoine Fuqua, the film doesn't just tell a story, it immerses the audience in a world of tension, beauty, and raw emotion. Every scene, every frame, and every sound has been meticulously crafted to draw viewers deeper into Robert McCall's world, creating a cinematic experience that is as engaging as it is unforgettable. The first element that grabs the viewer's attention is the cinematography. The director of photography captures the Amalfi Coast's idyllic beauty with breathtaking wide shots that contrast sharply with the film's gritty undertones. The lush landscapes and golden sunsets are almost poetic, offering a stark juxtaposition to the violence and moral ambiguity at the story's core. The use of natural light enhances the realism of these scenes, making the village feel like a living, breathing character in the film. Close-ups play a critical role in shaping the movie's atmosphere. Fuqua often frames Denzel Washington's face in tight shots, emphasizing McCall's inner turmoil and moral conflict. Every flicker of emotion, every subtle shift in his expression becomes a story in itself. The intimacy of these shots allows the audience to connect with them on a personal level, experiencing his pain, determination, and moments of peace as though they were their own. Lighting is another powerful tool used throughout the film. Shadows and silhouettes dominate many of the action sequences, mirroring McCall's own struggle between light and darkness. The dimly lit interiors, punctuated by the glow of fast street lights or a flickering bulb, create a sense of foreboding, heightening the tension as McCall moves through his world. In contrast, the brightest undrenched scenes of the village exude warmth and hope, symbolizing the peace McCall seeks. The camera work in The Equalizer 3 is dynamic and purposeful, capturing both the fluidity of action and the stillness of introspection. During fight sequences, the camera moves with a visceral energy, mimicking McCall's calculated yet brutal efficiency. Slower motion shots punctuate key moments, drawing attention to McCall's precise movements and the impact of his actions. These techniques not only amplify the intensity of the fights but also give the audience a deeper appreciation for McCall's skills and the stakes that play. Editing plays a crucial role in the film's pacing and storytelling. The transitions between the tranquil life of the village and the brutal violence of McCall's missions are seamless, creating a rhythm that keeps the audience on edge. Quick cuts during action sequences convey urgency and chaos, while lingering shots during quieter moments allow the viewer to absorb the emotional weight of the story. The balance between fast and slow pacing ensures that the film never feels rush toward drawn-out, maintaining a steady grip on the audience's attention. Sound design is another masterpiece. Scene of The Equalizer 3. The subtle hum of Psychosa in the background, the crash of waves against the shore, and the distant chatter of villagers create an immersive soundscape that transports the audience to the Amalfi Coast. These ambient sounds ground the story in reality, making McCall's world feel tangible and alive. But it's not just the ambient sounds that make an impact. The use of silence is equally powerful during moments of introspection or tension. The absence of fast sound creates a vacuum that amplifies the weight of the scene. For instance, in the moments leading up to an attack, the silence is almost deafening, drawing the audience into Maul's heightened state of awareness. When the violence erupts, the sudden burst of sound shattering glass, the thud of a body hitting the floor hits with a visceral intensity that leaves a lasting impression. The film score, composed by Marcello Rosicomplem, in the visuals and sound designa perfectly. The music shifts effortlessly between haunting melodies and pulsy bounding rhythms, reflecting the film's tonal shifts in scenes of quieter reflection. The music is soft and melancholic, echoing Maul's inner struggles during action sequence. It becomes bold and relentless, driving the tension and adrenaline to new heights. Saro's score doesn't just accompany the film, it becomes an integral part of the storytelling, amplifying emotions and enhancing the overall experience. Practical effects, scene choreography also deserve recognition. Unlike many modern action films that rely heavily on CGI, The Equalizer 3 keeps its action grounded in reality. The fight scenes are raw and visceral, with every punch, kick and strike choreographed to feel authentic. Denzel Washington's performance is a testament to his commitment to realism as he executes McCall's brutal efficiency with a precision and intensity. The lack of over-the-top effects ensures that the violence feels impactful and consequential rather than gratuitous. Behind the scenes, the production team faced numerous challenges, from navigating the logistical complexities of filming on location to coordinating intricate action sequences. The Amalfi Coast's narrow streets and historic architecture presented unique obstacles, requiring careful planning to ensure that the film's authenticity was preserved without disrupting the local community. The crew's dedication and resourcefulness shine through in the final product, as every frame captures the essence of the setting without a feeling forced or artificial. From a box office perspective, The Equalizer 3 proved to be a commercial success, resonating with audiences worldwide. Its release since September 2023 marked a triumphant return for the franchise, with the fans eagerly flocking to theaters to witness McCall's final chapter. The film's marketing campaign played a significant role in its success, emphasizing both the emotional depth of the story and the heist action that fans have come to expect. Critical reception further highlighted the film's achievements in filmmaking. Critics praised Fuqua's direction, Washington's performance, and the film's ability to balance intense action with meaningful storytelling. Audiences too respond enthusiastically, with many lauding the film's ability to provide closure to McCall's journey while leaving room for interpretation. The combination of critical acclaim and strong box office numbers solidified The Equalizer 3 as a standout entry in the franchise and a testament to the power of thoughtful filmmaking. Ultimately, the filmmaking techniques used in The Equalizer 3 elevated from a standard action thriller to a cinematic experience that lingers long after the credits roll. Through its masterful use of cinematography, sound editing, and practical effects, the film crafts a world that is both immersive and emotionally resonant. It's a testament to the power of storytelling and a reminder of the artistry that goes into creating a truly unforgettable film. The power of a movie like The Equalizer 3 isn't just in its story, action, or visuals, it's in the people who bring it to life. At its heart is the magnetic presence of Denzel Washington, a powerhouse actor who steps once again into the shoes of Robert McCall. This role, like a finely tailored suit, fits him perfectly, blending his commanding screen presence with the complex vulnerability that defines McCall. As audiences and critics select dove into the final chapter of this beloved franchise, the cast and crew offered fascinating glimpses behind the scenes, while viewers shared their passionate responses, cementing the film's legacy. Denzel Washington is no stranger to roles that require both gravitas and grit, and his portrayal of Famal in this third installment is no exception. During interviews, Washington spoke about what drew him back to the character. For him, McCall represents a man who is deeply flawed yet fundamentally good a character that resonates because of his moral compass and unwavering resolve to protect the innocent. Washington admitted that stepping into McCall's mindset wasn't always easy. It's about understanding his pain and his purpose he shared. He's a man trying to find peace in a violent world. Washington's commitment to his role is legendary, and this film was no exception. Known for his meticulous preparation, he spent months refining Robert McCall's movements, demeanor and psyche. Only a particularly fascinating anecdote involves a notebook Washington kept during production filled with Robert's inner thoughts, motivations and personal philosophies. Though never shared publicly, this journal reportedly guided Washington through some of the film's most emotionally charged scenes, ensuring every moment felt authentic and grounded. The action sequences in The Equalizer 3A were another area where production took on a life of its own, choreographed by an elite team of martial artists and stunt coordinators. These scenes were as much about storytelling as spectacle. Only a standout fact is that Washington performed a significant portion of his own stunts, a testament to his physical prowess and dedication to the role. This wasn't without its risks. On one occasion, a fight rehearsal involving knives went resulting in a minor injury that halted production for a day. The incident, though unsettling, underscored the intensity and realism the filmmakers were striving for. Director Antoine Fuqua, a longtime collaborator with Washington, brought his own unique flair to the film's production. Fuqua is known for his hands-on approach, often operating the camera himself during pivotal scenes to capture the perfect shot on set. He was a source of both inspiration and occasional humor, famously challenging cast members to impromptu chess matches between takes. This mix of focus and levity created a work environment where creativity could thrive even amid the film's darker themes. One of the strangest yet endearing stories from the set involve the presence of a stray cat that wandered into the village during a filming. The feline, affectionately named McCall by the crew, became something of an unofficial mascot. McCall frequently appeared during outdoor scenes, prompting a few unscripted moments that made it into the final cut. These serendipitous encounters added a touch of charm to the film's otherwise intense narrative and quickly became a favorite story among the cast. Technology also played a key role in bringing the story to life, particularly in crafting the film's unique visual aesthetic. The use of drones for sweet-seeing aerial shots of the village was groundbreaking, capturing the scenic beauty of the Italian coastline while emphasizing the isolation of Robert's new life. However, these drones weren't always cooperative. One notable mishap involved a drone that went rogue during an early morning shoot, crashing into a vendor's cart of fresh produce. While no one was hurt, the incident sparked laughter and earned the drone operator nickname Tomato Tamer for the remainder of production. The film's soundtrack is another through fascinating chapter in its production history. Composer Marcello Zarvos drew inspiration from a mix of classical Italian melodies and modern electronica beats, creating a score that felt both timeless and contemporary. One less known fact is that Zarvos spent time recording ambient sounds in the actual village church bells, waves crashing on the shore, and the hum of daily life, all of which were subtly woven into the music. This auditory layer added an immersive quality to the film, grounding its action in the sensory reality of its setting. One of the more emotional moments during production came when the crew celebrated Washington's birthday at the surprise involved the entire village, with locals baking traditional Italian cakes and organizing a heartfelt celebration that left the seasoned actor visibly moved. The event became a symbol of the bond forged between the film's team and the community, a reminder that even amidst the chaos of Hollywood filmmaking, genuine connections can thrive. The camera storyline, a central element of the plot, brought its own set of challenges to accurately depict the workings of this infamous criminal organization. The filmmakers consulted with law enforcement experts and researchers familiar with the Italian mafia. However, this level of authenticity didn't come without risk. During pre-production, the rumors of the film subject matter attracted the attention of certain groups, leading to increased security measures for the cast and crew. While these precautions were ultimately unnecessary, they added a layer of attention to the already complex logistics of filming in a foreign location. Another unusual fact about The Equalizer 3A involves a cameo that almost happened but didn't. Rumors swirled that Washington's son, actor John David Washington, was said to appear in a brief role, marking their first on-screen collaboration. While the plan failed, Due to scheduling CO, Netflix the mere possibility generated significant buzz among fans. This missed opportunity remains one of the film's more intriguing WHFs. As production rapid, the crew encountered one final challenge: a sudden storm that swept through the region, threatening to damage expensive equipment and delay the schedule. In true Equalizer fashion, the team banded together, working late into the night to secure the set and ensure no critical scenes were lost. The storm, while disruptive, became a bonding experience, further cementing the camaraderie that had grown over months of intense work. The stories and facts surrounding the making of The Equalizer 3 add a richer layer of context to an already compelling film. From Washington's deep commitment to his craft to the unexpected contributions of a stray cat, these behind-the-scenes moments remind us that filmmaking is as much about the journey as it is about the final product. These tales of creativity, resilience and serendipity make the film's world even more alive, drawing audiences deeper into Robert McCall's quest for justice and redemption. The Equalizer 3 2023 is not just an action film, it is a layered, thought-provoking exploration of morality, redemption and the fine line between justice and vengeance. Each major event in the movie serves as a narrative thread, weaving together an intricate story that leaves a lasting emotional impact. By analyzing these pivotal moments critically, we can better appreciate how they enhance the film's depth and contribute to its profound resonance with audiences. From the very beginning, the film sets a tone of quiet intensity. Robert McCall's arrival in a serene Italian village seems on the surface like a retreat from his tumultuous past. However, this initial piece is tinged with an underlying tension. The audience senses that his new environment, while beautiful, harbors a darkness beneath its idyllic facade. This duality mirrors Mal's own inner conflict, a man seeking solace but still tethered to his violent methods of righting wrongs. This thematic interplay between tranquility and chaos immediately draws viewers into the film's emotional core. One of the film's most significant events occurs early on when McCall intervenes in the lives of local villagers oppressed by a dangerous camera gang. This confrontation is not just a display of physical prowess but a morally charged moment that underscores the film's central question: how far should one go to protect the innocent? Mal's calculated yet brutal actions force the audience to grapple with their own notions of justice. Is violence justified when used to counter greater violence? By presenting this dilemma without offering easy answers, the film invites viewers into a complex ethical discourse. Washington also reflected in his collaboration with director Antoine Fuqua, a partnership that has spanned several films. Their creative synergy is evident in every frame, with Fuqua pushing Washington to explore new facets of McCall while allowing the act of the freedom to infuse the character with his signature depth. In one interview, Washington joked about their Shandana set, saying, "Antoine just gives me Oka and I know what he wants. Sometimes the look says do it better." Their mutual respect and trust are clear, and it's this dynamic that brings out the best in both men. Joining Washington is Dakota Fanning, whose role as CIA operative McCall adds a fresh dynamic to the story. Fans were particularly excited about Fanning's involvement given her past collaboration with Washington in Man on Fire, reuniting after nearly 2 decades. Their on-screen chemistry felt like catching up with an old friend. Fanning revealed that working with Washington again was both nostalgic and inspiring. "He's a legend," she said, "but he's also incredibly generous as a sin partner. He makes you feel seen and valued, which elevates everyone's performance." Fanning's character brings a younger, more optimistic perspective to the narrative, serving as a counterbalance to McCall's hard-knit worldview. In interviews, Fanning expressed her gratitude for the opportunity to play such a layered role. "Emma is strong, intelligent and driven, but she's also learning and evolving. It's rewarding to play someone who's both capable and vulnerable." Another standout in the cast is Eugenio, who portrays Gio Bonassi, a local Italian policeman who becomes entwined in McCall's quest for justice. Master Andrea brought an authenticity to his role, capturing the charm and quiet strength of a man dedicated to protecting his community. In interviews, Master Andrea Thea spoke about the honor of working alongside Washington and Fanning. Being part of this film was like joining a masterclass in acting. He shared, Denzel has this incredible ability to make you feel at ease while also challenging you to be your best. The camaraderie among the cast extended beyond the cameras. Behind the scenes stories revealed a light-hearted atmosphere that balanced the intensity of the film's subject matter. Washington, known for his serious approach to acting, surprised many with a high sense of humor. Denzel loves a good prank. Fanning laughed in one interview why he kept pretending to forget his lines just to see how he'd react. Of course, he delivered them perfectly in the next take. Master Andrew added that Washington often shared wisdom about the craft, offering advice that inspired the younger actors to dig deeper into their performances. Director Antoine Fuqua was a pivotal force in shaping the film, and his interviews offered insight into the creative choices that defined the Equalizer 3. Fuqua emphasized his desire to ground the story in reality, really maintaining the larger-than-life qualities that fans expect. It's about finding that balance. He explained, Mala is a hero, but he's also human. We wanted the audience to see his vulnerability, his longing for connection, and his struggle to reconcile his violent past with his desire for peace. Fuqua also highlighted the importance of the film setting, describing the Amalfi Coast as a character in its own right. The beauty of the location contrasts with the darkness of the story, and that tension creates something powerful. He said the decision to film on location wasn't without the challenges, but Fuqua believed it was worth the effort to capture the authenticity and atmosphere that the setting demanded. The audience's reaction to the Equalizer 3 was as passionate as it was diverse. Longtime fans of the franchise praised Washington's performance, calling it a fitting farewell to the character they had come to love. Many viewers were moved by McCall's journey, with some describing it as a poignant exploration of redemption and the search for peace. Social media was flooded with posts from fans who couldn't stop talking about the film's emotional resonance. I didn't expect to cry during an action movie, but here I am, one fan tweeted. The film's action sequences also garnered a widespread acclaim. Viewers marveled at the intensity and precision of the fight scenes, with many calling them some of the best in the franchise. Denzel Washington is 68 years old and still out here taking names. A popular review exclaimed the choreography and practical effects were celebrated for their realism, with audiences appreciating the filmmaker's commitment to creating a grounded, visceral action. Critics too had much to say about the film and applauded Fuqua's direction and the performances of the cast, with particular praise for the chemistry between Washington and Fanning. Some reviewers noted that the film's slower pace allowed for deeper character development, a decision that set it apart from its predecessors. However, there were differing opinions about the balance between action and drama, with some critics wishing for more high-octane moments to complement the emotional depth. Audience reviews also highlighted the film's themes of community and connection. The scenes depicting McCall's interactions with the villagers struck a chord with many viewers, who found the portrayal of a tight-knit community both heartwarming and inspiring. It's rare to see an action movie that values relationships as much as explosions. Only a review noted for some these moments added an unexpected layer of humanity to the story, elevating it beyond a typical revenge thriller. Of course, not every viewer was satisfied. A minority of audience members felt that the film's introspective tone slowed the pacing up, particularly in the first half. Others wanted more closure for certain plot threads, though most agreed that the ending provided a satisfying resolution to McCall's story. Despite these criticisms, the overwhelming consensus was that The Equalizer 3 delivered a compelling and emotionally charged finale to the franchise. In the end, the cast and crew's dedication to their craft, combined with the audience's heartfelt responses, solidified The Equalizer 3 as a film that resonates on multiple levels. It's a story of justice, redemption, and the search for peace, brought to life by a talented team of artists who poured their hearts into every frame. As fans continue to share their thoughts and experiences, the film's legacy grows, proving that great storytelling has the power to unite and inspire. The journey through The Equalizer 3 has been nothing short of extraordinary, both on screen and behind the scenes. As we bring our exploration to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the key elements that have made this movie not just a fitting conclusion to the trilogy, but a standout in its own right. From the gripping plot that masterfully skillfully balances pulsy pounding action with heartfelt emotion to the deeply laid character development that has turned Roberta McCall into one of cinema's most memorable heroes. This film has also delivered on every front. We venture into the sun-soaked Amalfi Coast, where the stunning setting becomes an integral character in the story, offering both a serenity and stark contrast to the violent undercurrents of McCall's world. The themes of redemption, peace and justice resonate powerfully, adding depth to the film's thrilling narrative. But perhaps what makes The Equalizer 3 truly special is the artistry behind its creation. Director Antoine Fuqua's vision, coupled with the impeccable performance of Denzel Washington, Dakota Fanning and the rest of the cast, has resulted in a film that doesn't just entertain, it leaves a lasting impact. Whether it's Washington's nuanced portrayal of McCall's internal struggles or the seamless interplay between action and emotion, every aspect of this movie feels meticulously crafted. Let's not forget the wealth of behind-the-scenes stories that have given us a glimpse into the making of this cinematic masterpiece, the camaraderie among the cast, the challenges of filming and location, and the creative decisions that shape the final product all contribute to a richer appreciation of what it takes to bring such a story to life. The production insights, from the stunning cinematography to the use of sound and editing, reveal a commitment to excellence that elevates the film to a class of its own. The audience's response has been a testament to the film's success. Fans and critics alike have lauded the balance of action and drama, the emotional weight of McCall's journey, and the franchise's ability to conclude on such a high note. It's rare for a series to sustain its momentum and still surprise viewers with fresh perspectives, but The Equalizer 3 has achieved just that. Now, as we wrap up this discussion, let's think about what makes a movie truly great. Is it the story, the characters, the themes, or the craftsmanship that resonates with us the most? Perhaps it's the way all these elements come together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. The Equalizer 3 invites us to ponder these questions, just as it invites us into McCall's world for only a last unforgettable adventure. Before you go, make sure to like,